First one we will look at is with Moses. Yah wanted to show Moses a miracle, so he turned Moses' hands white. Then he turned it back to its original color. Exodus chapter 4 verses 6 and 7 says, "Furthermore, Yahuwah said to him, now put your hand in your bosom. And he put his hand in his bosom. And when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous, like snow. And he said, put your hand in your bosom again. So he put his hand in his bosom again, and drew it out of his bosom. And behold, it was restored like his other flesh." That's Exodus chapter 4, verses 6 and 7. So there was a difference in the color of his skin versus the white skin. I mean, this is what a form of leprosy is. It's turning the skin white. This is what leprosy looks like. Yeah. Let's continue. And then later on in that same chapter, verse 10 says, "And when the cloud departed from above the tabernacle, suddenly Miriam became leprous, as white as snow. Then Aaron turned toward Miriam, and there she was, a leper." Numbers chapter 12, verse 10. You see, same thing done to Moses, done to his wife. So when we say that Israel couldn't be black-skinned, this is denial based upon racism. But here's the thing. From those scriptures, what people may want to say is that, yes, that's true, but that doesn't prove that they are black-skinned. I have always said that they weren't white, but more olive-skinned. So to counter this claim, let's just go back to the original 12 sons of Jacob. If they were not black-skinned and they were olive-skinned, how did Joseph's brother, the other sons of Israel, mistake Joseph for an Egyptian? Again, there is no argument or debate about the skin color of the Egyptians. We know they were dark-skinned people. This is not debated, even though Hollywood still likes to portray them as white, like they did in The Gods of Egypt or that Christian Bale movie. But anyway, if they were a different skin complexion than the Egyptians, Israel should have been easy to spot out amongst the Egyptians, especially amongst his own brothers. But that is not what scripture shows. Now Joseph was governor over the land, and it was he who sold to all the people of the land. And Joseph's brothers came and bowed down before him with their faces to the earth. Joseph saw his brothers and recognized them, but he acted as a stranger to them and spoke roughly to them. Then he said to them, "Where do you come from?" And they said, "From the land of Canaan to buy food." So Joseph recognized his brothers, but they did not recognize him. Genesis chapter 42, verses 6 through 8. Then they went to Jacob, their father, in the land of Canaan, and told him all that happened to them, saying, "The man who was master of the land spoke roughly to us and took us for spies of the country." Genesis chapter 42, verses 29 and 30. They didn't know their own brother in the land of Egypt. They thought he was an Egyptian. If he had a completely different look than the Egyptians, and they only looked a certain way, Joseph would have been easier to spot. I mean, in the Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verses 5 and 6, Solomon clearly says, "I am black, but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Cedar, as the curtains of Solomon. Look not upon me because I am black, because I am tanned from the sun. My mother's children were angry with me. They made me the keeper of the vineyards, but my own vineyard have I not kept." That's Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verses 5 and 6. So to dismiss the fact that the Israelites were a people of a darker skin, those who we refer to as black people today, is denying evidence from the word. There is more evidence of this claim than any other claim. So let's just put that to bed right now. There is no reason for argument or debate about this. We don't need to argue about skin color, and this is not what you define anyone from. But if people still want to talk in the terms of the color of skin, this should now be made clear. So as we are following the history of Judah, we can leave out the argument about skin color and try to identify them by their history and nationality.